this class is going on, but I think we all need to. Okay, great. Yeah, go on. Beautiful. Go on. Beautiful. That's the whole concept that artificial intelligence is all about giving machines the ability to mimic certain intellectual capabilities of human beings. There's a reason the intelligence is artificial. There's something it's trying to mimic in terms of speech, logical reasoning, the ability to say something, do something, right? To infer something, to predict something. So that's the whole idea of AI, and that's really just the summary that is giving machines that ability. You learned what artificial intelligence is all about. Great reasons for studying subjects. Beautiful. That's really nice. So today's class 2 and getting started right away. Today becomes our first technical session. We'll begin to dive into Python and other things. But before that, we know there are quite a number of people joining online for the first time, and maybe someone missed something out yesterday. So I'm going to go over real quick the class rules and all you need to join and to maximally benefit in this class. How many of us saw yesterday's recording on YouTube? One person. Okay, great. Even if you didn't see it, it will be posted on the classroom today, so you can review it, go over it before we answer the quiz. And today's class will also be on YouTube. So all the class recordings will always be available on YouTube. Alright, so the class rules are simple. COVID-19 preventive measures compliance is mandatory for physical attendees. You are required to maintain utmost respect on all platforms and all interactions on the program. No form of harassment will be tolerated. You will be put out of the program. So, yeah, in case of a fire, please do use the fire exits on the left and on the right, and please exit in an orderly fashion. Attendance at all live sessions, as we said yesterday, is compulsory. So that means if you're following online or offline, it's super important that you sign the attendance and you do so in good time. So joining the live sessions, you need to join the Google Classroom, participate, you join the live sessions, you join the Google Classroom, you complete the content on the Google Classroom. There are 6 Python videos, if I am correct, on Google Classroom. So to maximally benefit in this course, you are actually supposed to finish them. So that's 6 classes, about 2 hours each. They are recorded, your recordings have been done already, so you need to go over them because this class today is going to end by 1:30 thereabouts, right? And there's a lot to cover. We can't cover all of the Python. So that means AI every day. You're supposed to go back and continue watching those. But my colleague is going to give you enough boost to get you started on your learning. Now we have this in-class live sessions, and then you go back and continue your learning every day. So complete the content, super important. Complete your assessments, and super important as well, please do not network. There are amazing people here. I'm sure that maybe the next unicorn is sitting somewhere in this class. Well, to talk to someone, let people know. And also, as I was saying maybe at the end, but I don't want to forget, make sure you snap a picture at the back there. It's important. Do you want to know why it's important? For the physical attendees, that back has a kind of data analysis power that once you snap a picture, there's a predictive capability of artificial intelligence to boost your data career. Take it like that. But really, just go ahead and track your progress. It's fun. Take a picture that, when I said learning data analytics, this was me. Post something on social media. And in 4 weeks' time, when we are done, you can post that. It's 4 weeks. This is what I have done. Right? It's really great to track progress and show the world that you are learning something, you are learning a magic skill, and you are making yourself relevant. Put yourself out there. Let people see the amazing things you are doing. Okay? Alright, let's move on. So using the Google Classroom is really simple. The link to join the classroom has been sent to your email as part of the class. Thank you so much, Benedicta, for sending the class records and the attendance to the chat already. Thank you. I was just about to do that. So using the Google Classroom is super simple. Let's open another. If anybody needs the links, let's share with them. You join the Google Classroom via the link sent to your email address, and then you can get started. I'm going to ask again, who here has not joined the Google Classroom? 1, just 2, great. So that's a good number. So, but you have registered, right? Yeah, great. Did you get the email to join? Welcome to AI Every Day. You must have gotten that email. Did you get the email? please do register immediately. You get the email and all the details will be sent to you. If you are following online, the same thing. You can, if you have signed up for this program, the email is automatically sent to the email you used to register. So check your email. The email subject is welcome to AI every day. We all got it right. Great. So please, all the details you need are right in that email. Do well to join and be a part. You need to access your class records, your student ID for this class, as well as the attendance and the assessments. You need it. Please, super important. This is what the attendance looks like. We'll sign to this attendance shortly, and it's really important that your student ID is accurately dropped on the attendance. So yes, we use a lot of QR codes and links in our classes to make it easier for you. So please, if you have not signed your attendance for data analytics, I know some of us took part in business analytics, but for data analytics, you need to sign this separate attendance. So please go ahead, scan this QR code, or use the links dropped in the chat. You need your student ID. It's not your DSN membership ID now. It's your student ID for this class. So please go ahead and just use that. You can check your records. I'm dropping the link in the chat for everyone. Okay, so you can scan the QR code or just use bit.ly/C2 all caps AIE underscore capital A for attendance. And you get that. Your records are also available on the link shared. So that would be almost all. Okay, lastly, the assessment criteria and certification criteria for the program. Completing all assessments with an average score of at least 80%, showing that yes, I know what I have been taught over the last 4 weeks. At least 6 out of the 8 live sessions must be attended. Does someone still need the attendance? Someone didn't get it? Please, you can take a picture of it. It's the same every week. You can also just take a picture of it or save it somewhere on your phone. Let me just keep it somewhere so that you can always sign that in class whenever you need it. Okay, cool. So 6 out of the 8 live sessions must be attended. A verifiable badge of completion will be awarded to all those that meet the criteria. Awesome. Somebody snapping picture at the back already. I can see your data career skyrocketing. That's it. That's it. If you can take like 20 pictures, that's multiplier effect. I'm telling you. So a verifiable badge of completion will be awarded to everyone that completes the class and meets this criteria. Okay. All right. So technical session start today, like we discussed yesterday. The links to download Anaconda and get everything you need started, they were sent to the classroom. If you still need help, how many of us have, and how many of us are going to be using Anaconda for the technical sessions? Let me see your hand. How many of us are going to be using Colab? We don't have Colab users yet, don't worry, we're going to have, by the next, in about 2 weeks, we will all be using Google Colab for the in-class because we get totally hands-on, right? We're going to be doing everything together. So that's by next week. So everybody will give access to Wi-Fi and you'll be able to use Google Colab. For people online, we love you and you can use Wi-Fi wherever you are. Okay, so Anaconda, yes, the advantages are here and Colab as well. Internet connection is required for Colab. You need to install Anaconda. You do not need to install Colab. It's web-based. Less dependency issues on Colab. So if you ever have issues on Anaconda or Jupyter Notebook on your PC, you can readily just switch to Colab. I can assure you that you can. I can almost assure you that you have no issues. And there are more details on this in the Google Classroom. All right. So before I introduce our tutor, we have a small exercise to do. I know that my colleague for this analytics track showed us how we can do the review for this, but really, I'd like us to be very practical about it. How many of us here have dropped a review for this hub where you are currently sitting? If you have, let us see one person. Google Map review. Okay, just one person. All right, nice. Okay, so quick exercise. Can we open out our phones? Real quick, 2-3 minutes, we're done. Just quickly bring out your phone. No, I'm not going to type for you. Alright, so if you have a phone, you have data, please do bring out your phone. And please visit this link. bit.ly/ all caps DSN R is capital review. That's all. Now, once you visit that link, it's going to take you to the Google Map site for this hub where you are currently in. After I have this one question for you, how has your experience been? Here, has it been good? Has Let's be nice. Nobody's saying anything. I'm asking questions. It's been nice. So please just drop a review on that. We are having people here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm expecting 16 reviews. 16 reviews. Alright? So can we just quickly just click on review? How many of us are there already? I see your hand if you are there already. You've gotten the link and you are there already. Show of hands. How many of us are not there? I'm not even raising your hands. People are moving. Alright, please can we visit this link and drop a review for the just share your experience, the review rating. That will be so much appreciated. Alright, we have just 2 more minutes for that. How many of us are on this? 1, 2, okay, nice. 3. Who else? I see we are on our phone. I want to be sure that we are actually dropping the review. How are we doing? Any issues? People online, sure. If you've been here before, go ahead and drop your review. I mean, it's about the physical location, so you can't find your name on the record. If you have registered for this program, your name will be on the record. So just ensure that you're registered. Okay, so all right. How many of us are dropping our reviews now? How many of us have dropped our reviews? How many of us? Okay, 1 person. Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Who else? 2 people, 3 people. Nice, nice. Who else? 5. Nice. Drop your reviews. Help your data career. I hope you know. Everything helps with data career. But actually, when we do look at it, we are generating some data, right? We're going to train some models someday. So it's a contribution. But seriously, come on, let's get this. Let's get on this. Let's jump on this. Done? Are you doing it? Okay, great. So that's just the thing. Once you visit, click on the review, drop a rating, and drop a review. I'm going to 10. I'm going. Who else? Okay, let's see who has the best review himself. Okay. Waiting. 1 more minute, people. Tick tock. Don't you review yet? The attendance link. Okay, I'll take it back. Okay, once we're done. I'll take it back 1 more time. Alright, anybody else drop the review? Or we are on it? I see a lot of us typing, but I'm not sure. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm going to confirm. Alright, are we done? Answer now. Are we done? Nobody's answering. Goodness. Alright. Show of hands. How many of us have dropped the review today? I see your hand. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Beautiful. How many of us are currently trying to drop a review? 1, 2. Great. That sorts it out. Alright. So we can move on. Thank you all. That is really much appreciated. Alright, so for people that still need the attendance, please go ahead and fill out the attendance. Wow, thank you, Timmy Tokwe, for the show. Thank you so much. So please, you can write get the link down, or you scan the QR code and you will be able to get the attendance. Alright, so let's meet our tutor for today. Today I have my esteemed colleague Wari, who is a data scientist and a data analyst here at Data Scientist Network. He works here and is a super amazing data scientist who works to build data-driven products and especially geospatial intelligence solutions. He's really amazing at it. You might be familiar with some of you, might have read some of his publications on LinkedIn, where he is a thought leader on geospatial intelligence solutions across health, retail industry, which has multiple impacts on various individuals. Curiosity and passions lie in qualitative data enumeration, machine learning, computer vision, spatial data, cartography, earth observation, visualization and applied research. So after this class, if you have specific areas you want to talk to about this, you have projects you have in mind, please do well to engage him. That's why we bring you different um, specializations of people. So you have a lot of information and skill sets to gain from. Finally, it focuses on bridging the digital data inadequacy gap by leveraging crowdsourced capability in collating qualitative data, mining data from diverse sources, designing and maintaining data on multiple platforms using AI. As a matter of fact, I have been privileged to see him work on geospatial solutions on crowdsourced data, and I can tell you it's amazing what they are able to do with this data. So please join me, make welcome Wari Wari as he takes us in today's class on Python programming. Let me just help you get set up.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining us from. Yeah. Thank you, Fumini, for the warm introduction. So basically, I'll be taking you on Python programming throughout this section. So at the end of this section, you will learn the basics of Python programming. You also learn about Anaconda navigation. You also learn how to use Jupyter Notebook and also Jupyter Lab. You also know how to navigate through the interface of Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, the basic arithmetic in Python, and also the different data types involved with Python. You also be able to learn how to assign and name variables in Python using the normal standard naming convention, and also be able to work with comparison and logical operators. So with that, let's get started with what we do. So basically, that was yesterday, we were introduced with AI machine learning. So for your AI and machine learning to work, it needs to work on a machine. And one machine knows how to do it. Machine knows program. It knows binary numbers, which is what your program entails. So basically, your programming is all about giving computer set of instruction for the computer to understand what to do. It's the websites you have that you're using. They basically built with a programming language. Even the ATM machines you use on the program on where you type in the amount you want to withdraw from. They are basically programming language behind it working on those. So with that, we have different types of programming language. We have Java, we have C, MATLAB, we have a lot. On this our sample, we have about 20 simple example here. But for today's section, we're dealing with only Python because Python is what is basically and the widely used programming language for machine learning and artificial intelligence. So each other programming language have their own proficiency whereby they are really, really efficient in different areas. But for AI machine learning, Python is the best or the first go-to. So moving on, why would you learn computer programming? Programming is fun. Yes, very very fun. It's basically it's an art. So it's a way to make you think critically. Like
Okay. You
there's
don't
a
go there
mathematics.
into data business analyst. There's an
Can you meet yourself,
yeah.
please?
You can really stand now. Business analyst, how to analyze data. No, free. This say call am. Yeah. This place, this online now, online.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. So from where we stopped, we were talking about why you should learn in computer programming. language. So programming is fun. It's a way to make you critically think. You basically programming is mathematics, and mathematics is a way for you also for you to think. So it also increases the way you think and solve problems. So it also helps you automate tasks easily. So with programming, you can automate various tasks you can think of. It's also a good way for you to earn money. Yeah. So it's also the backbone of technology company. Basically, that's it. So programming language for data science. So like I said previously, that Python is the number one programming language for data science. Another big competitor is arguable one of the best competitively with Python is R programming language. Then we have Julia, we have Scala. Moving on to Python programming language. So basically, Python programming language is an open source general purpose programming language. You can use it in building a web application, that's the back end. You can use it in building a desktop application. You can also use it in building an hardware application device, and you can also use it also for data science. So it's the syntax of Python is very easy for you to understand. Um, Arguably, is one of the most easiest, or is one of the most easy programming language you can come across. So it's very, very good for beginners. The syntax are easily readable and it's very, very familiar, similar with what we have with normal English language with respect to mathematics. Um, so yeah, and also Python is also an open source program, so anyone can contribute. So you can contribute. We have different developers worldwide. So if you have different ideas for you to improve the programming language, you can also chip in your own depth of knowledge into it. So yeah, then this sample of what it looks like we see how C is, see how Java is. These are something that you just start breaking your head over. But look at how Python is. Think hello world, very simple. Um, Another programming language that's also very simple to learn is also R, but we'll use Python because Python is more popular. It's and is also widely used and it has diverse application, like I said previously. So for us to use this Python, there's an application or a distribution package called Anaconda. So Anaconda allows us to use Python and for development and deployment management. So basically, what happens is this: Python have different packages, and also data science have different packages. Now, there's what we call dependencies in packages. So without when you try to build a product and your product are basically and most time dependent on other packages. So the interrelationship between both package most times do have issues. So what Anaconda helps you do is Anaconda helps you package those dependencies together in a well structured way so that when you want to deploy, you don't start crying about this one is not working here on my system and it's working in another in another environment. I've said previously, Anaconda is one of the biggest distributor for Python with for data science and machine learning. So for you to download Anaconda, on my screen there's this URL here. So you can click on this URL anaconda.com slash product slash individual hashtag Windows. That's if you're using a Windows. Or you can go to anaconda.com and slash products. Then you see the different operating system you can download for in case you're using a Mac system or you're using a Linux system. So I think we all have Anaconda installed. All of us on site here, we have Anaconda installed. I think who doesn't have Anaconda? Just with okay. So okay, there'll be a facilitator in place to help you with the installation of Anaconda. So then also Anaconda also there are different way for you to access Anaconda. Anaconda has a GUI called an Anaconda Navigator. So what GUI is called? GUI is its graphics user interface, just interface you see on the on your PC or your device. So this is how the Anaconda interface looks like to you. Then for you to launch Anaconda Navigator, once you've downloaded Anaconda, you can come to your, if you are using Windows, you can press on the Windows command and search for Anaconda Navigator. You will see this prompt. So it's called Anaconda Navigator Anaconda 3. You open it and it shows you it's this. So among in Anaconda Navigator, it also houses different Anaconda. It also houses different IDEs or packages for you to use. So basically, the well-known one and also the ones we will be using for this section and also in future sections is going to be Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook. So if you see this Jupyter Lab, this is Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Lab, they allows you to live code. Yeah, it's also well rated for explanatory text. So basically, what Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook allow is it allows you what to write text alongside writing code. So it mostly used for educational purpose when you're teaching Python and when you're trying to teach any concepts. So it allows the text alongside with the code. So it's also very good for visualization also. Like so you can structure your text and structure your visual. So most times if in data analysis or data science, basically what you'll be doing is after your analysis or after building, you need to present it and showcase what you're doing and basically tell the story around it. So the best way for you to show your code and your story is for you to use Jupyter Notebook because you can see your code, you can also see your output, and you can also present to others. It also support HTML. I know how many of us are familiar with HTML here? Yeah, it also supports HTML, so you can embed HTML into your GPT. Since it runs on the web browser, you can embed HTML into it. You can also make maybe you don't like the way the default mark or text of Jupyter Notebook gives. You can also do it with design with HTML, if you know HTML and CSS with it. So we have I mentioned Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook. We have to there's some differences in them. So for both Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook, the extension is .ipymp file. Okay, then for Python, the extension for Python is .py file. So Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook can also open a .py file, that's a Python file, and also a .ipymp file. So when you want to run a .ipymp file, that's basically a notebook for data science. You can choose to use Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook. But now when you use Jupyter Lab, this is what it looks like with Jupyter Lab. It allows you to open it, and when you want to open multiple notebooks on it, it opens multiple notebooks in different tabs. If you can see my screen here, you can see different tabs of notebook. But in Jupyter Notebook, you can't open multiple notebooks on a particular page. So if you want to open another notebook, it has to go to another tab in the web browser. While this one, just in a particular browser tab, you can open multiple notebooks. So when we go into hands-on with this, you get how to use this. Then for you to create a new file in Jupyter Lab, a notebook, once you launch your Jupyter Notebook, you can go to click on new at the top. Right? So, how many of us have currently have Jupyter Notebook launch currently here? We have. So I hope you're going following. So when you launch it, so those that don't have, there will be more the facilitators coming to help you with this installation. So then for our online audience, you can download, as I said previously, you can download Anaconda and Anaconda.com tutorials based on your OS operating system. So you go to the new, you can see at the top right corner of on my screen, and then new Python 3, because basically we're working with Python 3. Then when you create a new notebook, you see this interface. So this is called a cell. Which this interface called a cell. It allows it asks it prompts you to type in your code. So I gave you a cursory look on launching Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab. I said you can launch it using your Windows key on the keyboard. There's also another way for those that want to make it look more techy kind of. So you can use your terminal command prompt. So while once you've installed your Anaconda, it comes with a command prompt and also a GUI, that's Navigator. So you can on your keyboard, you can click on the Windows key, then you search for Anaconda prompt. While once it takes to the Anaconda prompt, you can type Jupyter Lab. It launches your Jupyter Lab. So for the Jupyter Notebook also, you also type Jupyter Notebook if you want to launch for the command prompt. So mostly, one of the reasons why you might need to do this is Anaconda Navigator is always very heavy if you have a very low resource system. So what most people does is they launch their Jupyter Notebook from the command prompt, so they don't allow their system to be overweighted by the high consuming power of Anaconda Navigator GUI. So that's the reason why you might want to use the command prompt. Then moving forward, moving forward, while you're also navigating through the Anaconda prompt, you can also create a new notebook. So when you create a new notebook and a new cell shows up, like I've said previously, you can also change the cell from code format to a markdown. I said previously that Anaconda allows you to write code and also allows you to write text. So markdown, I don't know who knows about markdown here. Who's about markdown? Okay, so markdown is a way for you to write it's another format way for you to write text on the web, also to display on the web. So you can change your cell from a code format to a markdown format using the toolbar here where you have school and change it to markdown. So those of you currently with Anaconda Jupyter Notebook, you can try that out and see how it goes. And then also, so if you also look at the interface of Jupyter Notebook, you will see we have the save button. That's number one. So for you to save Jupyter your notebook, another option for you to do is for you to do Control S to save your notebook. But if you don't want to use Control, you can use this two box here. Then another option, you can also create a cell. This plus symbol, that's number two. You can also create a new cell. Then you can also cut or delete a cell using the X. You can copy a cell. You can paste a cell. You can also run, very important. So you can also run a cell. So once you finish writing your code in a particular cell and you want to run and see what's the output of this code, you click on the run button. You can also stop your cell from running. There are instances whereby you run a cell and it takes forever to load, and you want to kill it, so you don't really want it to finish, because there are some kind of codes you run and might take, maybe you are training a model in machine learning and it might take you about 4 to 5 hours and you want to kill that execution. You can click on this stop icon here. You can also reload or restart your kernel. So when you restart your kernel, all your variables or what you've saved that is working at the background, because there's what we call RAM that stores some of your log files that you've been working with. So you can restart your kernel. Maybe you have too much variables that is holding that log file that is too big, and you want to restart your kernel so you can delete those variables, so you can restart it. Or maybe your kernel is misbehaving, you can also restart your kernel using that. Then moving on, I'll be showing you examples of cells in Markdown. So if you can see my screen, this is a cell. Now, this notebook I'm using to go through to show you guys on how data science was built with Jupyter Notebook. So if you can also see, this is it. As I'm going forward, you also see it contains text and it also contains See if, as I said previously, your Jupyter notebook is an easier way for you to explain concept in data science or Python. So if you look at this cell here, how old are you? You will see this is a cell, how old are you? And if I run this cell, for you to run your cell, as I said previously, you can go to the toolbox here. So basically, because I'm using Jupyter Notebook, I can, and my screen is on zoomed level. I can't see the toolbox, but I can click on this cell. Can you see my cell also on the toolbox here? I can click on this cell and click on run cells. So once I click on run cells, it runs this cell here. So how old are you? If you see this hysteresis here, so these two hysteresis makes this bold. You see, I remove this. It's sorry. So if I remove, let me remove. So this I'll put it. So this a okay. So this is a markdown cell. So as I said previously, we had a code format and we also have a markdown. So this currently is on markdown. So this is how old are you? If I run this, on the completion of running, when it's about to run, it changes in when it's in a cell format, it changes from green to blue. So I'm about typing here. So this is already green. I'm about typing here. So how old are you? If I remove this and I run this. So for me to run now, the shortcut for me to run, I can enter control and enter. So I hold my on my keyboard, I click on control and enter. It runs this. So if you observe it, how old are you here? It doesn't hold on the old. So if I come back and put back my statuses here, so you see how old are you here. So the same thing happens with Python is simple here. I need to put hysteresis for it to make it initialized. So there are different. What I'm trying to show you is there are different ways for you to format text in Markdown using the Jupyter notebook. So Python is simple here. I put my hysteresis here. If you see it here, I run this. It shows Python is simple. When I remove this, you see it shows the normal text without making it look initialized. So moving on, I can also create also a list. The way you are working with your, I know everybody has idea about Microsoft Word documents, how to format text in Microsoft Word documents. So basically, this is the way of you formatting text using Jupyter Notebook. So for me to format text that makes has a bullet-like points, these are the syntaxes I use here. So you see this iPhone. So on one, if I run this cell, if I run this cell, you will see the output here. So the output here shows United Kingdom, Canada, and America. So another cell also we run is syntax called print. So there's a syntax called print in Python. So what print does is that it prints out the result of what you've typed. So basically here now I want to print this sentence called hello world. So if I click on this, that's Control Enter for me to run. It gives me this hello world. I can change this value to hello world. I am happy to be here. Happy to be here. You see the reward it brings out, hello world, I'm happy to be here. So that's what the print does. It gives you the output of what you've typed. And when you're trying to print, remember your print, this is a syntax must start with an open bracket and end with a closed bracket. And the text inside that you want to print must start with an apostrophe and end with an apostrophe, like what I've done here. So now I'll be showing you the different expression, data type, and variable assignments in Python. So at this point, I'll show you how to be involved in various arithmetic in Python. working with different data types, and also naming different variables. So basically, your any programming language you use also acts like a calculator. So what I said previously, what your computer is a machine. You understand numbers and what happens to numbers. What is known about numbers is numbers work with arithmetics. So your Python or programming language should be able to like crunch arithmetic easily for your computer to understand. So there are different operations like the way your calculator works at your Python can do addition, division, um, floor division, exponential, modulus, and multiplication. Basically, what your general calculator can do. So now, if you look at this diagram here, you look at the addition operation, look at the mathematical symbols, look at Python operators, and look at the example here. So if you observe, your plus in Python is the same thing as your mathematical plus. Your minus in Python is the same thing as now you look at the difference in multiplication. Your mathematical symbol multiplication is x. That's what we normally write. But in Python, we use hysteresis. Then for your division, you have this normal mathematical division, but here we use backslash. We have modulus, we have exponential. To represent exponential in Python, you use double asterisk here. So here are some samples here of the different operations and also the results you have like. So your Python has different operations. We have plus, we have minus, we have a multiplication, that's asterisk, backslash for division. We have modulus, modulus gives you the remainder of a variable. For those of us familiar with further math, you know you've done something like modulus maybe during our secondary school days. Then also, with respect to this arithmetic operation now, I'll show you different ways now we can use arithmetic operation here. So this is the addition, as I said previously. For you to use addition in Python, I'm using a cell here called the code cell. So if you look at my cell here, if you look at the cell type, it's full already. But I can change this to Markdown. So this is how Markdown is. But if I change this to Markdown and I run this line of code, it just shows me 8 plus 2. That's normal text. But I want this to run like a code the way Python would understand. So I come to cell here, I change this to code. So you can see now anything that changes to code, you see this in here, and also it open square braces here. Then if I run this with Control Enter, you see 8 plus 2 is 10. Basically what your normal mathematics does. Then this is the same thing here. 1 plus 3 plus 2 is equals to 6. You might understand plus plus plus. Now, this is a very, very simple example of using understanding different arithmetic with Python. So this question goes, train the teachers program consists teachers from 7 different schools across Nigeria. 7 are from Oyo, 15 are from Lagos, 10 are from Kaduna, 18 from Abia, 6 are from Adamawa, 11 are from Imo, while the remaining 14 are from Kaduna. How many teachers are in the program? So this is a simple word problem I will try to solve with Python. So basically what I'll be doing here is I'll just add the different teachers number at the different location. That's 7 plus 15 plus 10 plus 18 plus 6 plus 11 plus 14. So if I run this like the way a normal calculator works, Control Enter, you see that it gives me the normal answer 81. So the reason why this is very important is basically what happens with your code when you are building or programming is basically you'll be crunching numbers, you'll be dealing with mathematics, you'll be dealing with these different operators. So it's very good to know how the different operators work. So when you want to solve problem, you know how you can apply these different operators. So we have subtraction, like we already know. So the symbol is minus sign, but 8 minus 5, the result gives me 3. And also we have 20 minus 15, the results give me 5. Here's another sample example of one problem with the minus operator with Python. So I would skip this for now. So if you do 30 minus 6 minus 8 minus 5 minus 4 in your calculator and also using Python, it gives you 7. That's the same thing. So now this we're moving on to multiplication. So the multiplication sign is 2 times 3. We are writing our normal mathematics is 2 times 3. That's 2x3. But for Python, it's going to be 2 asterisk 3. See what happens if I do our normal times 3 here. See what happens. It throws error. Your Python does not know what times is. So for you to be able to multiply with Python, you must put the asterisk sign. So 2 times 3 is going to give you 6 here. So 5 times 4 will give us 20 over here. So minus 4 times 4, I think we all know math here. So minus 4 times 4 will give us minus 8. Yeah. So we have 3 times 3 here. This will give us 9. So so as I said previously, you can't use X for multiplication in Python. You can only use hysteresis multiplication in Python. And also it's very, very common for us to make mistake, maybe forget syntax and the rest. So there's what we call Python documentation. It's very, very important for us to go back to the Python documentation or maybe the course material you're using for it to remember, oh, what's the syntax for doing multiplication, what's the syntax for doing divide, because by default our brain might be used to what we already know as divide or multiplication until we start getting using Python daily before we start getting used to different syntax of Python. So if you look at division here, I said it backslash and 10 divided by 5 is this. If you following up with me here, that if you observe now, this backslash is different. Sorry, this forward slash is different from backslash. So if I change this to yeah, this backslash, the other one was forward slash. So if I change this to this, you observe it doesn't understand this backward slash. If I change it to forward slash, you see, use my division. 10 over 5 will give you 2.0. Then we have 200 divided by 20 will give us 10. It's basically simple. So 11 divided by 2, mathematics, that will give us 5.5. Then we also have, then with that, we also have exponential. You know what exponential is? Exponential is the same thing we know as raised to the power of something. Yeah. So 44 raised to the power of 2. That is what we have here. Will give us this huge number. So that is 9,936. I can also do 4 raised to, let me do the one we know currently. 4 raised to the power of 2 will give us 16. I can change this 4 raised to the power of 3, gives us 64. So that's, then also 3 raised to the power of 2 will give us 9. 9 raised to the power of 2 will give us 81. So with that, we already know the syntax for multiplication. Now moving on to modulus. We know what modulus are, especially like those from science background. But even though you also know from science background, also modulus is very simple. So basically, what modulus does is it divides a number two numbers and also gives you the remainder. So if you do your normal mathematics, 9 divided by 2, what we know is 4.5, or 4 remainder, sorry, is 4 remainder 1. So what modulus does is it gives you the remainder, that is the 1 here. So 9 divided by 2, that's 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1. So it gives you the remainder, that's 1. 11 modulus 3 is same thing as you say 11 divided by 3 for it to give you the remainder. So 11 divided by 3 is 3. Sorry, 11 divided by 3 is 3 remainder 2. That is 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2, that's the remainder. So what modulus does is modulus gives you the remainder of the two number is dividing. So this 21 modulus 4, remainder is 1 because 5 times 4 is 20, remainder 1 for it to make it 21. Then this you also 15 module 6. 15 module 6 is 3. Then moving on to normal division. So I said normal division is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. So it's what we call floor division. Now, when you're dividing also, Python returns the number to you in form of a float. So what floats are decimal places. In Python, it's called float, the decimal place. So now, for example, you want to divide, I just only want Python to just give you the real numbers without including the decimal. You use floor division. Floor division, that means you have to use double forward slash. So if you do forward division, floor division of 15, floor division 2 would give you 7. Why? 15 divided by 2 is 7, remainder 1. It gives you just the whole number and take out the remainder. So with that in mind, I think I have some activities for us here. So we can try on our own 2 plus 6 minus 12. I think those of us with Anaconda installed on our device, and also those of us online also, you can try it on your own 2 plus 6 minus 12, and let's see what the result shows. Like, what among us is few as okay. This lab now. Do that. Look now. Yeah, I do them one by one. If you do all of them, you might have error. Just do them one by one. For each cell, so you open a new cell, like I said, you can open a new cell with each set, cell above or below, wherever, whatever you use it, you can cell above, or you open a new cell with cell below. So for each of these questions you've been asked, you should open a new cell below and try this division. So I think if you don't have the movie, I mean you can, if this material also be available, so you can try it. Yeah, it's on the Google Classroom. So, but basically, if we want to use our normal head dividing 2 plus 6 minus 12, 2 plus 6 is 8, 8 minus 12 is minus 14. So I think we are correct there. Am I right? Who has the answer there? For the first one, 2 plus 6 minus 12. Sorry? Minus 4, fine. That's, yeah. So let's try this one. 11 floor division 5. What would be the answer? Remember, floor division just gives you the whole number. That's 2. That's fine. Okay, let's do the one that, let's do 16 modules, the one that has percentage. 16 modules 3. What give us the answer? 1. Yes, 3 times 5 is 15. Remainder 1. That's fine. And also remember, the same way we have board mass, we have precedence of. Look, can you hear me? Okay, the same way we have board mass, where we have precedence of different operators. In we have paired mass in Python. So we have brackets for board mass, while bracket also for Python. We have exponential, we have division, we have multiplication, we have addition, we have subtraction. So in case you just jam pack everything together, these are the precedents your Python program is going to take. So in an expression like this, 3 times in bracket 2 plus 5. Basically, what follows first is the bracket. That's 2 plus 5. What's inside? 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. 5 times 3 is equals to 15. So let's look at this funny trick here. See what happens here. What do you think the answer of this would be? 9. So okay, let's see. Yes, we have 9 because 3 times 2, that is 6 plus 3. Let me change this. Let's see what happens. So it doesn't look as if it's first one, first 7. What would the answer of this be? still 9. Okay, let's try. Um, so it's still 9. So it follows the broad mass method. So brackets, exponential, division first before multiplication before your broad mass. So you use for the division first. That's 2 times 3 is the division. Is sorry, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So your multiplication and division must come before addition and subtraction. So over here we have multiplication. That is 2 times 3 give us 6. Before we now come into the additional part. Do you understand? I think it's clearer then. Let's look at this very funny example. And let me change the value so I think see we don't cheat. So we have 4 exponential 2 plus 1. What do you think the answer would be? 9, 17. Okay, 17. Let's see if that's true. So this 17, yes, we are right. So it takes the exponential first before it brings the addition. So let's do this. This is a very, very funny sample. What do you think the answer of this would be? 17, 1, 16. Okay, I think we have some people in the chat window. Lulu Atife is saying 17. Okay, let's check out Python and see what he's saying. I'm about running this now. So if I run this, so we are all correct. It's 17. So you see, what happens is it takes in the exponential phase. Anybody that has an exponential is giving them precedence before. So it does 4 raised to power 2, it keeps it one side, 1 raised to power 5, keeps it one side, then adds them together. So have you seen how clumpy this is? If you are trying to solve a problem and you give your computer this kind of equation, your computer might understand, but you cannot be what you're trying to solve, but it becomes very, very, very clumpy. So that's the importance of brackets, so you can be able to differentiate what you really mean. So if I do this, you see, it becomes very easier to understand what we mean than just putting the operators together. I still give us 17. So this is also the same thing, same thing with this. So this is another example. 3 plus 2 in bracket times 6 minus 4. What do you think the answer of this would be? I don't mind what's on the code. So 3 plus 2 times 6 minus 4 will give us 11. So if I implement this like this, now you observe what's the code. It gives us a different answer because what happens is Python takes precedence of the brackets. So 2 times 6 is what? 12. So what comes in after the 12? 3 plus 12, 15 minus 4, 11. That's fine, 11. So if I've done the other way, I see what happens. With the change of bracket, everything changes here. So I just change my brackets here. I do this. So the answer changes then. So yeah, I think so. Basically, when you before you even feed your computer your Python the problem, you should have like an idea of what you want to solve in a very well structured. Because what it feeds the computer is what it brings out. Then we have also another example here. What do you think the answer of this would be? It's okay. It's not asterisk, it's just one asterisk. So one asterisk is for multiplication, double asterisk is for yeah. So I want to show you a very, very funny example here. I know most of you know because we are very smart over here. So I will set a cell below. Three, sorry, three brackets 6 times 0. What's the answer to this? 0. What's an objection? Let me see what people are saying in the chat window. What's the answer to this? What's the answer to this? Someone is saying error. Hmm. Any objection? Error. Why is the error? Yeah. Why is the error? There's no what? There's no command. After the three, there's no command, there's no operator. So your computer is useless. You don't understand what you're trying to say. So that's why it's the error. And if those that have run this on their notebook would have cheated and maybe they would have done it. It's just error for them. But I still find that we are very, very good. We are following and we are smart. Samuel John is saying int object is not callable. There's no relationship between 0 and 3. Yes, we are very, very close to the answer. So there's no command. So it's not like your mathematics that you just do 3 in bracket 2. Then your teacher will say, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. In Python or in programming language, you must explicitly state what you want to do. So I know that we wanted to do 3 times or maybe 3 plus or 3. So you need to specify, is it 3 times what that bracket has? So if I run, let me show the error that is there, the error. Int object is not callable. Yeah. So if I put my command here, it was 0. Yeah, the initial answer that you gave was correct, but for this context, try an error. So that. So very simple tip, as I said previously. Always use your bracket very, very well when you are solving problem with Python. It helps for readability, understandability, and also you don't get confused what you are doing. These are another simple examples. 6 minus 4 plus 2. 6 minus 4. What do you think the answer will be? 6 minus 4 plus 2. That's 2 plus 2. Okay, I think it's when we are dealing with brackets with additional subtraction, you say might not really have issues. But when you have to do with addition, subtraction, and multiplication, that's when you start having issues in understanding what this thing is trying to say. So this is another example here. So with that said, we are done with the different basic operators. I've showed you the multiplication, addition, the subtraction, division, modules, and floor division. So we can just during our your free time, when we get back, we can just try play with them. Then the next thing I'll be talking about is on comments in Python. So what comment does in Python is now when you're writing program or line of code, this program are computer understanding codes and your computer might understand what you are writing. Maybe you've solved the problem, you've written the computer should understand. Now, when you finish solving the problem, maybe you've gone to sleep or you've gone to rest, then you go back to that code you've written that you yourself wrote and you try to understand, maybe you want to change one or two to try to understand what you've done. You might observe that I've forgotten what I did here because this is they are not really used to those computer syntax. Basically, what we use in communicating is English. So if we see something in English, we can easily grab. But with computer, even no matter how we've been coding for 5 to 6 to 10 years, at least there are times you have those issues in understanding what your syntax of code does. So that's the reason why comment plays in. So what comment does is it allows you, maybe if you're written a line of code and you don't want to forget and you want to specify what's this code doing, you can just put a comment close to the code and say, okay, this does that. And it's also a good way for you to document. So, for example, now when you program it, as I said previously, you must structure your thought process first before you start writing the code in your Python. So program when comment is also a way for you also to also when you're writing the code also you're also putting your thought process in line. So when you go back to check that code in future, you don't understand, oh, I was thinking this, that's the reason why I wrote this line of code. So and for you to add comment in Python, you use the hash sign, and comment does not run like a normal code run. So let me show you this example. So this is a code cell. This is not a markdown cell. I talk about markdown cell and code cell. This is a code cell. So in this code cell, this is a comment. This is an introductory Python class. This code does not run because the computer says it as comment. But what runs is the next code because it didn't specify that this is a comment. So if I run this, it shows this. Let me show you actually. This is just a little quiz. What happens here if I run this line of code? Error. I will say error. Who has any objection? Okay, why error? There's no. Sorry, you cannot see my screen. Okay, why error? Why the error? There's a keyword in it. Okay. That's nice, but that's not the problem. I think yeah, it's a statement that yeah, it's not a computer syntax to understand. Do you understand? Computer does not understand. This is an introductory. See what happens. Let me show you. Invalid syntax. Computer does not understand that. Do you understand? But if I had done this here, what computer sees is that, oh, I'm seeing an hash in front. That means I shouldn't run this line of code. I should just leave it like I run the next. Are you following? Now let me show you something also. It's although uh, what happens here? What happens here? It will run. Why would it run? Although we are like towards these steps ahead. I'm just trying to show you this. So what happens here is it will run. Why? So when computer sees your apostrophe, it takes it as is what we call strings. That's text. So it sees it as a string, as a text, and it runs this line. It runs. It doesn't throw error. You understand? But you can't use this to make comments in Python because also string also has a way of operating at the back end, giving more load also to the compiler resources. So it's better you use comment. So what comment doesn't mean the comment does not execute the comment, it doesn't do anything, the comment just gives it there. But with string, commander has to execute and say, okay, this is a string. So it's very, very good to use as this is a inline comment. So this is a comment. This is a line of code. See this line. These are two lines of code. Import numpy does square root of 4. Don't worry about understanding what this is doing. The index. So what basically it's doing is that it's importing a package and it's also getting the square root of a number. Now, without me telling you now this, what happens is with comments, if there's someone saying this new, first thing you just go to look at is the comment. What is this thing saying? That's why this comment says you will know how to import package in Python later. To get the square root of a number, you need to import numpy package, then use numpy the square root function. So you as a newbie or someone coming in, seeing this, be like, what does this mean? But when you look at the comment, this is what the comment is saying it wants to do. You say, okay, yeah, I know what this does. That is what we call inline. So there's what we call multiple line comment. So now your computer, your code runs sequentially, line by line by line. So why can't we? What happens here? What happens here? These are one sentence. This is one sentence. But what happens? I don't want this guy to go towards this end. I just brought it down. But what happens here? Will this line of code run? Error. Why? It doesn't understand. It doesn't understand What does it not understand? Okay, so the first line of code is saying your computer is saying hash. It's saying is a comment. It's fine. It comes to the next line. It's not saying anything. It's not saying hash. What you're just giving it text. It's like, what are you saying? It does what? It throws error. What your intention is that these are one sentence, but you're, for readability's sake, you are trying to bring it down. Your computer does not understand. That's why most times you use this hash here. But most times you might want now imagine you have like 4,000, sorry, you have like 5 or 6 10 texts you want to write as comment, because most times when you're writing comment documentation, you might write a lot up to like, so you might write a lot up to like, so when you're writing comment, you might write up to like 7 8, sometimes 70 to 100 words in one comment, because most times your code, maybe there's how inspiration comes in the code you've written, and once the inspiration comes, you need to write what you've done, because once you go and leave that code, you might forget about what you've just done. So it's what we call multi-line comment. So what multi-line comment does is, instead of for each line put hash, each line put hash. So what multi-line does it is multi-line. It takes in 3 apostrophe. That's why that's 6 apostrophe, 3 for the beginning and 3 for the end. So this I looks like this multi-line. I see. So what your computer sees it, once it sees the first command and see, oh, this is multi-line, oh, that means anything within this first command, the last command, and the last command is a comment. Don't run, don't do anything. So what I can do now is, now instead of me doing this, I can come here, I can copy this. So I can copy this and paste it here. I can come here also. Maybe I copy this. Let me just copy it here, paste it here. If I run this, what happens? Will there be error? Why? Because why would there be error? Because your computer have this is a multi-line that's seen this first line as a comment, it's looking for the next line as a comment. So anything after this last line, it takes it as normal command. So I can also add anything, more line, no matter the line, as long as it's in between those 3 apostrophe. So if I run this, it doesn't throw error. You get, so it's just a page for you to write comment of your code. So moving on forward, we have it. So moving on forward, we also have different operators. Before we talked about mathematical operator. Now use what we call comparison operator. So your computer helps you compare between 2 different Boolean function. So ones and zero, true or false, yes or no, greater than, equals to, less than, equal to, only less than, and is equal to. So see what happens here. Now in your normal mathematics, when you have 5 plus 6 is equals to 6, that's sorry, you have 5 plus 6 is equals to 6. 5 plus 6 is 6 at the left hand side, 6 is at the right hand side, they are equal. But in Python, when you're comparing, you use double equal to compare. So let's look at the first one of not equal to. So I want to ask my computer, is 5 not equal to 3? Not equal to, what happens is it uses this exclamation mark plus and the equal to together. So I'm asking, is 5 not equal to 3? Is it true or false? True. 5 is not equal to 3. That will tell you it's true. If I put 5 here, what will my computer say? False, because 5 not equals to 5 is false. I think it's clear. So, but then this is another one called equal to. So for the equal to, for you to compare 5 equal to 5, is it true or false? It's true. So your computer gives you true. So what if I put 10 here? What happens here? False. 5 is not equal to 10. Am I right? Yeah. I think we are all fully. Let's see. Then also these are the same syntax. 5 equal to 7. Comparison. Not equal to 5 is not equal to 10. Showing true. Then we have also greater than. So is 100 greater than 30? So this is greater than sign. Normally we write our greater than in 100 greater than 30 is true. That's why I say yes. But minus 65 is greater than 50. Minus 60 is greater than 50. False is not true. That's why we have it false here. Minus 6 is greater than minus 5. False. Okay. Is 100 less than 1,000? True. Yeah. So this less than sign, greater than sign. Why I use it going is I know it like this for greater than sign. This is my left, this is my right hand. Then for less than sign, I use my left. So if this is less than sign, so this is facing my left. So so 100 is less than 1,000. That's why it's showing is true. Minus 6 is it less than 5? Minus 5. Yes. Then okay. I want to show something. What happens here? Oh, is that true? True, that's the answer. Doesn't give you a number, doesn't give you anything. Just true. True. Okay, so let's why is it true? Um we are comparing. Okay, we are comparing online. So we could be comparing. So we have minus 6 at the left hand side. We have minus 5 plus 9 at the right hand side. So what happens is the calculation of minus 5 plus 9. 9 minus 5, that's 4. So minus 6 is less than 4. Is it true or false? Exactly. Thank you. So we also have greater than and equal to. So this 100 is 100 greater than or equal to 1,000. Is false. Um, so this let me what would it give us here? So, yeah, if I put 2,000 here, what happens? True. So it's asking for. So greater than equals is asking for. Is it greater than or is it equals to? You understand? So we have 60 greater than 45. It first passed the first case, 60 greater than 45. 100 is greater than 100. The next one is less than equal to. 100 is less than 1,000. It passes that first case. But if I was then, if you put 1,000 here, what happens? True, because 100 is equals to 100. With that in mind, we'll move on to different data types in Python. So I think we should do one I think there should be one very dicey way for us to solve something. So for the sake of those that don't have Anaconda installed, let me just make it something if what happens here was how we have computer brain here. How did we get false fast? So why is it false? Yeah, when you raise 100 to the back power of 5 is greater than 1,000 itself plus anything it wants to take off. But if you try on your computer, you also see it false. So what happens, as I said previously, you just create a demarcation, calculate the left hand side, then calculate the right hand side. So the result you have just compare less than or equal to. Um, Then I think we have different data types in Python. So I think another example you can also use in, so it's not here, it's quadratic equation. So maybe while we leave left here, we can also try and see if we can solve simple quadratic equation using these different operators we've learned so far. So I think it contains most of basic mathematical operators, so you can get used to how Python operators work. Then we have different data types in Python. So that's the different type of data we have that Python should like Python understand. So we have the word data type. So word is also known as string data type. So words are just basically text, Lagos, mail, coronavirus. We have number data types called integer. That's a real number. And the thing you call is natural number in math. The one that doesn't have decimal place. Real number, those without decimal place, they are called integer. Then for numbers with decimal, they are called floats. So you hear this a lot as you're working with Python. And there's also Boolean. So Boolean are just true or false. So this graph shows you about different data types. We have number, text. Look at the example here. Very, very simple way of see. Now, if you type anything in Python, for you to get the different data type, use a function called type in brackets. That's variable you've typed in. So it gives you the type of data type. So I'll show you how it does. So type of 20 shows us that this is an integer int. Am I right? Real numbers. Type 2 also shows that this is also an integer real number. Then type 2021.87 shows that this is a what? A float. Yeah. So these are different data type for float 3.12, 11.12, and this. Now, um, although the answer is already here, but what's the data type for this here on my screen? String. Why is it a string? Yeah, it starts with apostrophe. That's why it's a string. So no matter if the number natural, no matter if the variable naturally is a number or something, but once you insert or you put apostrophe between it, it automatically becomes a string. Let me So we have different string data type. I am from Oyo State. That's a string. Check the type is a string. Let me. What happens here? Error. Why error? Yeah, there's no opening string. So these are basic, very, very simple errors you be experiencing. Maybe your code is not running. You might not even remember that because of just this little. Look at the error. So because of not inputting apostrophe, there is string error. So you have to get used to error, understand how different errors are showing, so that when it happens to you, don't become true unawares. So if I take this back, it shows this. Okay, let's watch very attentively. What happens here? What's the response here? Let's see what I see online. What happens? Yeah, okay, it returns a string. Any objection? Error. Why? Exactly, yeah. I'm using single and double. So single should go with single, double should go with double. Yeah, that's awesome. We're all very smart here. So if I let me choose error, which is a type of error message you get when you have such issue. EOL, Y scanning string literal. That means your string is having issue. You don't understand the string you are giving. That's what your computer is saying in simple English. So I can change this to this. Hope you can hear me. Yeah. Okay, I think it's coming now. So this is another string type. I'm from Lagos. Another string. I'm from Lagos. Python is so simple. It's a string. So I want to show something. I want to show something. I don't want to show you where the result has already been answered. What happens here? Why? Yeah, it reads just the first opening and the first closing. So it looks for an opening, it looks for closing, the rest is useless. So what if I want to add apostrophe in text that this apostrophe? What do I do? Or what's advisable? I use single here. Yeah. So you can observe that if I run this, it shows. Now when I need to do such thing, I don't have to use single for the beginning and single for the end, because if I use single for the beginning and single for the end, it fix the first opening single and the last, and sorry, the next closing. I do understand. I think it's so. Okay. So you have this. So let me go back to yes. So we need to take note of this, because those are minor things that can frustrate you, and you might think it's something very, very big. Not that you just little things. So the string type is also a string. Python is simple, is a string. Now moving on to the Boolean data type. So we have for Boolean we have true or false, like I've said previously. Another way for it was to represent true or false is one and or zero. That's another way for us to represent true or false. So if I want to type of true, what happens here? See, it is a boolean bar. If I see what happens, what happens here? Error is case sensitive exactly. So boolean is case sensitive. What people saying online? Okay, let me see. Okay, the boolean is case sensitive. We have false, type false. I think we running against type. So we have type false. So if 8 greater than 6, it's what's the answer? What's 8 greater than 6? True. So when you check the type, it shows you it's a boolean. The same thing applicable to string. So Ibadan is it equal to Ikeja? But it's not equal to together. It's string, yeah, the strings are not together, so that's why it's showing yes, it's not equal to, that's why it's showing for Lagos is not equal to Kano, that's why it's showing you false. So I think we need to wrap up quickly. So we have variable assignments here. So what are variables? Variables are placeholders for your different data type. So like when we have in mathematics, let x be equals to 5, that x is your holder. So that's what Python is. So we have age is equals to 1000 here. So what data type is age? If I print this, what data type would it show me? String, because of the apostrophe. So if you print this as age, this is a string. Then if I type of age, as I said, sorry, I didn't run age. Yeah, that's my string. Yeah. So if I do type of age, it returns a string. You understand? So this country is Nigeria. This is a string. So but when you're assigning variables, you have to be very careful not to use Python's syntax as assigning variables. You cannot say true is equals to for in Python. Why? Because Python already knows that true is a boolean. So let me show you what happens here. If I say true, is equals to family. What happens here? Error. Python does not understand, but that's why your variables must be names that, let me say, name is equals to family. So these main variables are, so we have age as different variables, we have gender, we have male, we have female. When smile, this is string, age. What data type is age? Let me comment it out. Integer, fine, that's awesome. So we have age, this is string. So can you add a string and an integer together? No. So let me show you what I mean. So if I say 7 plus a string that is I, what happens here? Error. You cannot add a string and an integer together. See what happens here. Unsupported operator for integer string still the error, but I can do this. What happens here? It concatenates, it joins them together. Yeah. So that's the way for it. You can see. So then we also have different, as you know what assign variables I said, like in mathematics, let x. So the same x equals to 2, y 3, z is 4. X plus y is going to be equals to what? 5, because x is 2, 2 plus 5. X is holding 2, y is holding 3. So z minus x minus y, what happens? The way we understand how mathematics works, then this place hold. So also you know recall you can assign multiple variables in one line of code. So if you observe my line of code, before I've been doing name equals to next line, name is equals to next line. Now if you observe this one, I want to name everybody at once. So what I do is name is a variable, comma age, comma gender, comma country. So when I say, and I follow them sequentially. So the first was name. So the first name Sumaya, age 19, female, gender, country, UK. What's the integer of this age here? Sorry, what's the data of this age? Integer. Yeah, age is an integer data type. So if I run this and run this, you see. That's how you can just um, assign variable just in one line of code instead of you doing next line. So we have different rules in naming convention. All variables must start with a alphabet. You can't start naming and say 1_5 is equals to something. It's won't work in Python. You must start with first. You must start with an alphabet. So is a_7 is equals to 0. If I say a_7, what happens here? So this is 0. You understand? But if I do 1_7, what happens here? Error. You can't start with this. You can't start with number, but you can start with alphabet and move on to numbers. So you also, when you see this node, you also see different variable naming convention. It's also, we also talked about data type convention. So I have a type called I can convert integer to float, or I can convert integer to string. So we have an integer called 9. So if I check the type is this 9, the type of 9 is an int. I can convert this 9 to string. So call using string in bracket the variable or the name. So if I print Niger this, you see this. If the data type of this, since it's not a string, is going to be string. So if I do if I next cell, sorry. So if I do type, Naira float, what happens? It shows me that this is a string. Yeah, so I converted from integer to string, or using string in bracket, putting that variable I need to convert to. So this you can also convert from float to, you know what float are? Float are decimal. Float to integer. When you convert from float to integer, disregard the decimal. So this 9.345. If you convert to integer int this, you have just line. Everything goes away. Integer are just normal numbers without decimal places. But you can't convert string to integer. You understand? That's if the string naturally is number. You can't convert my name is Wari to integer. There's no number in it. It doesn't make sense. So that's is you can convert float to string. I've said this previously. So you can see here int 179 hours. Can it work? Can it work? Error. Fine. What about this? Can this work? Can work. Yeah. So you see. So if it's not a pure number, it doesn't work. So we have int false. So you can convert from billion to their real number. False is 0, true is 1. So int false will give you 0, int true will give you 1. So we have different logical operators. We have the and, the or, and the not, and the else false. When again, so I'll just take a rough of this. So what the and does is it checks what and does is true will give you true. It's for and true will give you true false. But once there's false in it, everything becomes false. But for all, once there is true in it, it becomes true. So for example, let's look at this example. We have minutes is equals to 3 here for the and. So minute is minute less than 7. Yes. Is minute less than 1? So we have true and what? False. So true false will give us what? False for the and operators. Yeah. So yeah, this is it. So it's false will give you false. If I change this to true, this is a simple way of saying false. Only when it is true, that's when it can give me. But for the or, see what happens in the or, they put in the or. You put false here, what happens? True. If I change this to or, so it changes to true. Yeah. So these are basically logical operators. Basically, when you building in view, you're using this in your logic in solving problems. So we are moving on. You know what not is? So not inverses. You know what inverses are? Yeah, it changes false to true, it changes true to false. So not true, false, not false, give you true. So if you see this example, minute was 3, not minute greater than 5 will give you as what? False. Am I right? 3 is greater than 5, am I right? So 3 greater than 5 will give you false. Now not false will give us what? So I think moving on, we can also collect variables also from Python or inputs. So for example, I want to input a variable. So I use input bracket D. So I can type something 89. The answer gives me 89. So if I want to print out val, print out val, it gives me 89. And any input you are getting from input, okay, can you all hear me? People are coming down super fast. Yes, we're trying to save time. That's why I'm super fast. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll try and go slow. Yeah, so okay, I'll try and go slow. I think although we are time is against us. So for your inputs, I said previously, this syntax is for inputs. So input, but the result input gives you is a string. How do I confirm? How do you confirm that? We use what data type would we use? Type to check the data type of val. Am I right? What does it show? String. So when we are reading inputs, we are typing inputs, it gives us string. Now what if I wanted to type in numbers? I wanted to input numbers. What would I do? What do I have to do? You have to convert the to integer. So but I wanted 89, but it's showing me this is string. So what I need to do, I can do int. So it shows. Sorry, I didn't close my browser. You can see. So it shows int here. This is also a float. We can also make it float since it's numbers. So you check the type here. It shows. Sorry, type of floats. Okay, floats. So we have this as float. Okay, so then we also will talk about string manipulation. So what string manipulation means as if we can handle string and also different data structures. So what you know what data structure is? Data structures are like containers and where you can manipulate containers because basically your computer deals with containers with memory for storing, for manipulation, for execution. So with this different data structure, you understand how to work with different string, different data type in that data structure, and also perform various tasks. So these are the different data types and also the data structures. We have tuple. Tuple is a data structure. We have dictionary. We have lists. String manipulation in Python. So I'm going into string manipulation in Python. These are normal string. Everybody agrees with me on that. Then this is our normal string. Yeah. So if now you observe, there are times that even without the print, it gives me the results. So this is string text. You see the output. It shows text here. I don't really have to do print text to show the results. It is unfortunate allowed. But when you're working on some other IDE, you must use print so the output will show out. So this is another sample. You print. It still shows the same thing. But what happens here is with without putting the print is that it only gives you the last variable, doesn't give you the first. So if you see here, I have 1 year, I have 2 year. Once I run this line of code, it shows only two because that's the last command. But when I do use print, it goes to the first command, print one, goes to the next command, print one, and give me both outputs. Yeah. So there's also another way you can also handle string. If you want to print and you also want to print another function in the next line, use this command called backward slash n. See it here. Can you see backward slash n here? Let's be sure to line up fully. Okay. So backward slash n, yes. So with this backward slash n, you can create a new line. So see what happens. This is the output here. But what happens when I remove this n? Can you see what happens here? What happened? Who's the very observer on what happened here? Is what happened? You removed n from the notice because it's normally syntax is backward slash and n. Do you understand? So when it's not backward slash and n, assumed it to be a next line. But now what happens? When I remove this n notice here, what happens here? It doesn't understand that syntax. It only understands backward slash and n. So this. That the same thing also, another syntax also for tab. You know what tabs are? It goes about from, yeah, it gives it normal tab, your tab on your keyboard. So for tab syntax is backward slash T. So this is a tab. See this space in between. So we call indexing and slicing. So indexing and slicing are a way of demarcating different accessing different elements in your string. So I have hello here and I want to access just H or O. So now your string are all indexed based on different numbers. So the first item or the first alphabet is zero. So you keep it progressively increases till you get to the end. So I have hello here and I want to get the first item. What do you think will give me? H, because that's the first item here. I want to get three. What should I use? Sorry, if I want to get L, the last L close to zero, what should I use? Three. Yes, zero, one, two, three. Okay, there's also we call back reverse indexing. And you can index from front zero, one, two, three. You can also index from back. That's now from the back index starts with -1. Not there's nothing like -0. Am I right? Mathematics. Yeah. So -1, -2, -3, -4 till the end. Now, even -5 is the same thing as zero at this instance. Am I right? Because -1, -2, -3, -4, the next thing should be -5. You can also use to access H, you can use -5 and you can also use 0. Let's see here. So if I say -5 here, what happens here? H, am I right? If I use 0 here, what happens? H. So H. There are different instances. Then what we call slicing. So indexing has to do with accessing just one element. Why slicing has to do with accessing more than one element. So if I want to access H, E, L together, I use slicing. So slicing notation has the syntax in brackets, the start, column, the stop, and the step. So let's go to the example of what it means. I have alphabet as a string, and now I want to slice the first element to the third element, the fourth element. Now remember, the fourth element is going to be 3 because of 0, 1, 2, 3. It's starting with 0. Now what happens with slicing is that it doesn't take your last variable in, yeah, the last index in. So it just gets everything from front, exception from the back. So if you observe from here, our start is 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I want to access H, E, L. So I need to do 0 to 3. So, sorry, is this? Oh, it's 0 to 3. This is A, B, C. Yeah, if I change this to 4, A, B, C, D. Yeah. Now, if I want to, I don't want to do from first, I want to do from second or from third. I'll do 2 to 4, C, D. So most times it's very good for us to we can demarcate your, maybe you want to index, demarcate, you understand where are the positions of each alphabet in my text and how do I want to access them using this syntax here. So you can access from the first element, maybe from the starting element till the end. So I want to access everything starting from 2 to the end. So that will give me CDE. That's from 2, 0, 1 to 3C, C, D, E, and F. The same thing with here. I want to access everything from front, but stop at 2. I need to indicate what's the first element. So I leave the first start empty, then the last element, that's 2. It will pick 2 as I said previously. Then we have also the various basic string method. I will rush through this one. So we have upper. So the way you have your Microsoft Word, upper means everything becomes literalized. These are syntax. So you just call the value your variables basic dot upper. It makes everything uppercase. Then lower, everything becomes lowercase. Then capitalize. Capitalize just only gives just the first element. as uppercase, the rest become lowercase. Then we also have title. So what title does is it just the first alphabet in each word becomes capital letter. Yeah, so there are these are various you can play with. You can also split sentence. So remember this have we had hello world, I am still a beginner. So you can split by each different words. So when you split, what split does it splits everything and puts it in the list. So yeah, so we also have different print formatting in Python. So I will have my username and password. I want to print my username and password. I don't want to hard code it. I want to print it from my variable name. So what will I do is I go to print, type this print. I use these curly braces, welcome curly braces, and your password curly braces. So these curly braces signify that they are holders for variable. So it includes dot format, username and password. Now this username and password is going to be the variable you've already stated previously. So you have this welcome. So it comes here, welcome UP. Where it says curly braces, comes and pick the first item here. That is username, which reference newbie, and password where you see curly braces here, that's the next one. It comes and picks the next item. That's then if now what happens if I have more than two here? What happens? What would the answer of this be? What happens here? You throw error. Yeah, because the format value is not okay. I'm telling it that I have three guys you want to put in, but I'm giving it only two. So see what happens here. What if I make this a get value? What do you think will be printed out? Okay, what would you do with printed? Just what would be the what would be printed out? Now, to give you the value. But what happens is this: welcome, the first curly braces, it goes to the format. What is it saying? Username. What's the username there? UB. Welcome in UB. The next curly braces is what's the next value there? Password. It gives you what's preference password 1234. It gives you password that's 1234. Then the next curly braces is what is, but what's it valid there? 90. It gives you 90. That's why most time when you are formatting, you must have this structure inside. You see what happens here? This is not what you wanted. So we need to now it follows the particular sequence. Username, username, password, password, 90, 90. So that's a different way of formatting of you formatting. So when you format, you must know where you want different positions of your elements to be in that string text. This is the same thing here. Now another way for us to solve this issue is for us to assign a variable to it. So look at what we did here. Now what if we have done a is equals to username? I want A to be here. That's the username. And you see B is equals to password. That's B is here. And also C, let me call this unknown. Let me call this UNK. That means unknown equals to 90. I want UNK to be here. What happens? So you can see the easier reference here. Welcome UP, that's the A, UNK, that's 90 we had here. The password be 1234. I think it's clear. Yeah. So moving on, yeah, we also have different way of formatting number. Yeah, I'll skip this for now because of time which is against us. Then also I talked about different input that also prompts you of what to do. So you also need to put input. For example, just like someone asking, type your password. Let me type your password here. So we use the syntax called input, type your password. I can change this folder to password. So if I run this, it asks me for my password. I can enter. Just you can use it to in building a very simple ATM machine or something using what's here. I type my password, for example, then run this. It shows me my password. So you can also use also the comparison to compare the password you have in your head with what someone has typed if it's correct. So you can even build a very simple program, input maybe a pet project that shows how you understand what's being done here. That's the simple thing here. And also the type of this that we don't remember is always string, not integer. These are the different ways of also getting input, right? Then I think I'll talk about list here before we can round up. So what list? For example, we all know what lists are. List is like a container. What's the list of people in this house? List of people here. So Python has a list that holds different elements or different items. So, and how do you create a list? List starts with open square bracket and close square brackets. And each item in the list are separated by comma. So look at this list, all my lists. It contains one, two, and three. They are separated by comma. So if you run this is the answer it gives you. Now I can also create a list for variables I've created. A is equals to 100, B 200, C 300. And my list 3 can be equals to a list of A, B, and C separated by comma. If I do this, what happens here? It shows error because A, B is a list, it's expecting comma. It does not understand what A, B is. Can you see? So where is expecting comma because this is the list. So if I print out this by list here, it shows you this. That's what it already referenced. So we have list of integer, list of floats. That's putting different floats in the list square braces. We also have list of string. You know what strings are? Now we also have mixed list. It can contain an integer, a list, string, boolean, different data type. So these a list that contain different data type. See what happens. What happens here? Error. Basically, is not being stated. That's why it's just error. So for this list to be readable, you must put in the you must put in the apostrophe that shows it's a string. So we have a list in a list. I don't know how many of us knows about array or matrix. Yeah. So array are like matrix, so they are lists inside lists. So a list can be inside list, another list inside another list, another list. So this is a list inside. So I have different lists. I have list that contains one, two, three, and another list inside it that has A, B, and C. So if I open this list and run this, it shows me this. Um, the type also is a list data type in Python. These are different list of lists, north, central, southwest. Then I'll also talk about range. So now, while we have a list, for example, I want to type 0 from a list of 0 to 10. That's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will type and I'll be tired. What if I want to type from, a list from 0 to 1000? I will not go home. So that's why we have range here. So what range does, it range allows you to specify the start and the end of list of numbers. So look at this here. I have range 10 here, means starting from 0 to 10. And I want to check the list here of this range. So I will need to put it in a list. Yeah, put it in a list and call range 10. So you can see it excludes the 10, that's the last element, the same way that our slicing does. So it starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I do this also, this list bring out the range. So if I do a list of 2 to 8, it will not include 8, but it include only And from 2 to 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 without the 8. So that's a list. You can create a list that iterates 10 each, 10 step each. So for example, let me say this is a list and I iterate from 0 to 100, taking 10 steps, that's 0, 10, 20. So this is what happens. I want 0 to 100, taking 10 steps. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. So I think that's all. So that's where we're stopping today for this section. So in the next class, we'll go through more on different list and also the different um, data types like tuple and also different Python package and also looping and branching in Python. Um, okay. Oh, many people are complaining they are not okay. The notebook here, you get a notebook on the you get a notebook on the Google Classroom. Yeah. So yeah. So I think we'll stop here for now because of time limit. For those not following, really apologize. We're trying to beat up time. So I think in the next class we'll try to be more slower than this because there are a lot to cover. But if you have any question, you can feel free to reach out on the Google Classroom for your. We are also available to answer your question and also make it more understandable for you. So I apologize for being very fast. Many people are complaining I've been very fast. I apologize. So I tried to finish up with what we have here. Okay, so yeah, so that's all we will do for today. So thank you everyone for your time. Yeah. So don't forget also to sign the attendance for those attending online and also those attending offline also. Yes, the video is also going to be uploaded. The video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so you can also get it. Uh, how do we access to the quiz? You access the quiz. The notebook will be available for everyone. If you have any issues in accessing or any of the courses, you can also reach out on the Google Classroom. We'll find a way to to solve your question. That's all we have today. Thank you. Resources will be available on the Google Classroom and also on our YouTube channel. Please um, make yourself available to check those materials and resources there. Yes, the video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Yes, all of our videos will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah. So don't forget to share your experience on Twitter, LinkedIn, and those of us on site, please Also, don't forget to rate us on Google Map and also drop a review and maybe take pictures, learning progress, and other engagements. So sorry, is asking on personal and okay, you can reach me out on LinkedIn. Worry. So, yeah. And also, you can also reach out to the data science community, data science Nigeria also on LinkedIn.